Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another podcast. The money issue in black relationships. And this is a thing we got to talk about. Got to talk about it now. I've touched upon this before because I had referenced the book before. It was called Money Issues in Black Male-Female Relationships by this now ancestor, George Sabiro, right? Very powerful book, underrated book, right? A few of my people know about it, right? But this ain't necessarily about that book. I was inspired to do this because I watch a little bit of TV. I watch Power and I watch science fiction, particularly The Expanse. But I like checking out like different channels if I'm not watching a sports game or something, right? I like checking out different channels. I found this channel Viceland, and Viceland get into some deep stuff. And they on this channel they had this show. It was called Payday, and they did several. Unfortunately, they don't have it on demand, which pisses me off because I gotta wait till they come on again to see them, right? But Payday is they'll have some cameras follow around some people in different cities who quite frankly, on that hustle. Not an illegal hustle, but necessarily. But, they get money in not the standard way, right? And they had this episode. It was featured in Baltimore, and it was filmed about the time of the Freddie Gray incident. I think that was, 2015. Freddie Gray rides and stuff. They ain't actually show any rides, but show some stuff around it, right? But, and they profiled 4 people, right? 3 black people and 1 white person. Like the white guy was like a photographer and stuff, right? And then they profiled this sister who was selling hookah, renting hookah things to people in clubs and stuff. Man, she's fine as heck. I need to check up on her, find out about her. Be like, hey sis, hey, I saw you on this show. Hey, we can do some business. Yeah, I'm just letting you know. If she happens to watch, let her know Uncle Rom checking for her, right? But and then they had this underground tattoo artist, which I kind of wonder why he would show himself on TV, but how people do. But then they had this one brother who was a dirtbag rider, right? And if anybody know about Baltimore, those dirt bikers, those street bikers and stuff, man, be doing those stunts and everything. Now this dude, he was getting some sponsors and everything, right? And he was making some money, but he had some plans for the future. But there was one scene that really struck me, right? Because he trying to get up out of the hood. He ain't one of those people like glorifying the hood. Oh, I'm gonna stay here. He was doing like a lot of people do, right? He trying to get up out of the hood. And I know from the video I did the other day, like these Pookies and stuff, or Ray types, some of these street dudes. A lot of them, they got any sense, they trying to get up out of there. Right? If they can't do it normal, they're gonna hustle, right? So check it out. There was a conversation they had. And I'm gonna see if I can find like a link to it. I'm gonna see if I can find a link to it. Might let y'all deal with it, right? Link to Viceland anyway. Right? But remember him and his girl were having a conversation about money. Now, this dude, he trying to stack his paper. Get his family up out of there. Like, in his words, all the people that, get him through the day. He trying to get everybody out, right? That's what you're supposed to do, really. That's what you're supposed to do, But then his girl is like, wasn't big on saving that money. She wanted to spend it. She was like, you can't take it with you. That's a big issue in black male-female relationships. And I thought about it. This ain't to like really critique them, but let's just say it served as a catalyst because it's something that I've experienced personally. I remember one time I went out with this woman and I'm trying to say, I ain't have a lot of money, but I'm trying to save some money because, I had a business going. I'm trying to build and stuff. And she wanted me to spend all this money on her. I was like, well, first knowing game, I was like, okay, she ain't pressed about me. She's on some acculturated prostitution thing. I was like, eventually, stop dealing with her. But that's a big issue I see. you get a lot of black women. I'm gonna just be real. We gotta be real about this race thing. And I'll get into why I'm gonna jump into that. We get a lot of black women, you know, when they want the guy, if that dude ain't Mr. Goodbar and they don't just want that, you know, that dick that badly, they were talking about his money. Or they talking about he don't have money. You know? Shoot, that whole swirling thing, a big part of that is these white guys got money. So that's a big issue. But then at the same time, you get a lot of brothers, and I've met a lot of, you know me, I'm entrepreneurial. So, you know, hustlers naturally gravitate towards me, or out of them, we gravitate towards each other. You know, like mine's gonna come together. And a lot of them, almost every single brother, regardless of his hustle, whether it was being a corporate dude, you know, getting government contracts, or getting contracts with somebody, or you know what, they trying to sell something. They could be at a flea market selling some knockoff like shades, something like that. They trying to build something. That same issue came up. It's like a lot of times they dealing with a woman who ain't working with them, who want to get that money and spend it right away instead of saving it. And that's a big issue we got to deal with, because the reason why, what we just had something, we were talking about that whole wealth thing. Look, it's very simple for wealth. Building wealth is easy. You know how you start building wealth? It's a simple concept. You save, you don't spend the amount of money, you don't send out the same amount of money you bring in. So if you bring in $1,000, but you only send out $700, then you left with $300. That's how wealth begins. That's what you own. That's your assets. Now, it might not sound like a much right there, but if you do that every month for a year, what, that's 300 times, no, that's 300 times 12. Shoot. What's the math on that? 36. That's what, $3,600. Shoot. And you keep doing that for a while, can save even more. You got money, shoot. You can invest in a property or stocks, whatever. Start a business, get some business equipment, start something. That's wealth. But that begins with saving the money. And a lot of brothers are on that. But then a lot of times they dealing with the woman, they more or less trying to spend the money. Or, you know what, since the brother, they call the brother cheap. Or say he don't have the money, or he trying to be frugal or something. He trying to be thrifty. But how can he really build something? Because then they'll spend the money, but then when they really need money for something, or they married a dude and then they just have no money left, then it's like, oh, where's the money? Hey, yo, you got to fix all of this. I was like, damn, you spent all the money on dumb shit. And that's a big thing that has to be talked about. Yeah, we can talk about love, we can talk about sex, compatibility, all that shit, but two different ideas on money. And I've seen this with some sisters. I gotta call it out. This ain't bashing, I'm just being real. I've met a lot of sisters, they making big money and talking about they broke. I'm like, how you, savings account? Shoot, I know one woman. Now, I don't really care if she get mad if I ain't gonna call her name, but shoot, she ain't have a concept of a savings account till she was in her 40s and not making any money, barely making it, because she was forced to. And that's a big thing, because there's a lot of men, I've talked to a lot of, like I said, I've talked to guys on the corner, I've talked to guys in the, in the boardroom. A lot of them understand that concept. Men understand, we don't spend. In fact, the whole economy, if you look at the economy and you look at a lot of these companies out here that figuring out how to divest money from people, they focus on the woman. Even in retail establishments, they'll say, when they talk about the customer, they always use the word she, because guys don't be spending money like that. We want to save it, because we want more of it. We're going to try to build it. But you have a situation where, in a black community at least, the women wanting to spend the money. They want to have the money to spend. The brothers trying to build it up. And that's a problem, and it has to be talked about. Especially when many brothers are rejected for being perceived as not having money. It was like, well, damn, how you going to get it? He can save his money. Like I said, easiest way to make money is to save it and then invest it. That's how most businesses start. People talk about wealth and, say, well, we need these business loans and stuff. Most businesses don't start with a business loan. Most businesses start from a savings account. Then when they build up to a point and then need something shown that they can actually make money and have a nice cash flow, then that's when they go for the business loan. Shit. Google, Amazon, Apple started in garages. People got to sacrifice at first. But then you got this issue. You got the women wanting to spend money and the brothers wanting to save it and build. And we got to be real about it. And I know some women might thumb it down, say, oh, you bad? No, I'm being real. Because we have to be honest. So that's one issue, that money issue. We got to get on the same page. And if we're going to talk about relationships and problems, we got to talk about that different idea about money. And I'm throwing it out there. Y'all chop it up in the comments about it. But that's the main thing. Trust me, even up close. I don't want to get into my personal stuff, but that was a big issue. That was a very big issue. That caused a lot of stress, in past relationships. So, anyway, something to think about. Anyway, I'll get back with y'all later. Peace and blessings.